Berwick today and staying this evening in a luxury boutique hotel, I would probably call it. They don't have like a reception, you don't have breakfast here. It's literally like a house where you let yourself in, self-check-in, but it is very nice. I will show you the room. And this is the view. I'm going to go out and have a bit of a walk because the sun's going to set in half an hour. This is the view from the window. I'm going to have a bath later because, to be honest, I still feel quite chilled out and like I need to just continue that this afternoon. So yeah, I'm going to go and have a walk before it gets dark. I've got the bath running. I've also got the face mask, the macchiato one, because the eye patches was so good. I need to go to Sephora this week and get some more of those. And I'm going to put one of these on. I'm really excited to get in this tonight because look at the size of this bed. It's a lovely morning here in, I nearly said Alnwick there. It's because I've been looking at Newcastle in Berwick. It's a lot nicer than it was yesterday. Look at the view out the window. The weather is much better. I had such a good night's sleep. So yesterday when I got here and the weather was really bad, I was a bit like, so this hotel is like a boutique hotel, but with, like I said, without check-in or staff, like it's self-check-in. But it is very nice. The room's huge, bed was amazing. I had a really relaxing night, had a bath, face mask like you'll have seen. It was very relaxing. I am working here this morning, so I've already started. I've been working since about 7. And at lunchtime, I'm going to have a little bit of a wander around Berwick before driving home. And I have an event at St James's tonight, but it actually looks like a really nice day out there, so I'm looking forward to a wander at lunchtime. I had to get out of the room because checkout was 10, but they have this really cool lounge, like bar area. So I'm working from here this morning. I'll show you it. Again, it's not staffed, so it's just for you to use that you want. So what you could do is there's a big group of you. There's 9 rooms, I think. You could come on a group trip and you would then obviously have this whole room to yourself, the bar, but it's all self-serve. Quite a cool idea. I'm on the hunt for coffee. Oh, this looks nice. Northern Edge coffee. Glorious autumn day on Bamburgh Beach. You're a good boy. Come on then. Bucket night down, and I'm on my way to St James's for a preview night ahead of the women's derby at the weekend. And I think we're getting a stadium tour, or like part of a stadium tour, which I'm excited for. I've never done it.
Not many people see it with the lights on at this time of night.
As you'd imagine, I'm sure most of you have been to games. I personally.
I was at Pilates for 6 a.m. this morning, and I actually found it really hard getting up this morning because I didn't have a good night's sleep. But I went, as always, and was really glad I did. And then as I was driving back down the coast road towards the coast, right over the town moor, I could see how amazing the sunrise was. But I didn't get here in time. I did get some nice shots of it when it was really pink over there, but not properly. So I'm gonna have to do that this week because then our proper winter sunrises. But I'm just on the fish quay with Arthur for a bit of a walk before a day at work. I'm having an instant, don't judge me. I'm going to show you those later, my purchases and gift bag from last night. I'm so relieved, right? I've had Arthur at the vet this morning. It's been pouring out his mouth, and I wondered if he had like a bit of toothache or something. His jaw was like juddering a bit when he was yawning and going to sleep. And I am the type of person who I struggle so much when there's even the slightest hint that there may be something wrong with him. Like my anxiety, I don't really have anxiety. I get it over normal things, and if there's one thing that makes me anxious in my life, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've had it in the past, you know, with like certain people who cause you trauma, but I haven't had it for a long time other than like normal anxiety over normal things. But oh my God, every time I have to take Arthur at the vet for anything, even the slightest bit, I am beside myself. I can't cope. I don't sleep the night before. I feel sick to my stomach sitting in the waiting room. Is anyone else like this, or is it just me? Honestly, and I don't know if it's just because it's just me and Arthur, and like, he's the most important thing in my entire life, but it's the only thing in my whole life that I think like this. And we went to the vets, and they were like, he's alright, can't say anything. Give him some like anti-inflammatory just to hope it goes away. They were like, don't think it's cause for concern. But obviously because he's a pug, there is like higher risks of certain things, including their mouth, because they've got such a short snout. So she just said to me, like, over the next couple of years, maybe do a full dental workup with him. You know, nice cheap procedure. But he's looking at me now because I bought him a new toy because I feel so bad. But other than that, like, he's fine. And then the relief I feel and how happy I feel when I'm like, I leave and I'm like, oh, that's all it is. It's fine, Steph. You knew this. I'm just ridiculous. We then went to Pets at Home and I bought him a new toy because he doesn't like people looking at his mouth, and it is hard to do. I do it when he's yawning, like sitting on me and yawning, and I have a right good look in. But I feel like a weight, honestly, off just because I had him at the vet this morning. So I had that instant coffee, and because I was just so mentally distracted. And then now I feel fine. He's got his new toy that he's currently wanting me to throw, and I've made my lunchtime smoothie now. I can stomach it. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I was a little bit off yesterday because I'd booked the appointment and I knew I was not going to sleep that night. But he's fine, and he's currently waiting for me to throw his new toy.
Are you a good boy? Ah, give it to me. I want him.
I mean, clearly his teeth are fine, look at him. Yeah, that's just my irrational fear when it comes to Arthur. Nothing sets me off like it anyway. So, what I didn't show you last night is what I bought at Sephora. Rhode launched this week. No, well, these aren't for you. You've got your toy. Go get your toy and I'll throw it for you. Hello, my cute, healthy boy. Hello, my cute, healthy boy. So yeah, Rhode launched in the UK yesterday. So last night when I went to the Newcastle United Women's event, I bought some. It's not for you, I'm afraid. Look at him looking. You can look all you like, hon. I'm going to show you what I got. I was excited for this because it does get rave reviews. And also, I bought some more of those caramel macchiato eye patches. What did I get? I wanted the pineapple cleanser that I've seen advertised, but I mean, I don't actually know how much any of these things cost, but I spent 62 quid on this miniature. This one, on all of it, that miniature wasn't 62 quid. I've got the receipt, let me tell you how much that was. This miniature cleanser. It is great packaging, I am not going to lie. Rhode cleanser was £18. I have got one that I really like, and it was an expensive one, but I actually really like the Beauty Crop avocado cleanser. That's really cheap, but I have heard good things about this, so I'm going to try this. Then we have, this was the other thing I specifically went for, which was the peptide lip tint, and this was £20, so it wants to be good. I got it in shade Toast, and I know everyone loves these. Peptide lip tint. And then I was having a look at some of the other products, and I picked something else up. I think it might have been the face mist that makes you look a bit dewy, and then I was like, I put it back and I picked this up instead. The Peptide Glazing Fluid Serum. So I basically thought that this would go better with the cleanser, because I'll use the cleanser first, then this, you know, and have a nice little routine going. And this is cute, but still, look at the size of this for being £20. And half of that's the lid. I don't think you need much of it though, so hopefully it'll last a long time. So yeah, I'm excited to try that. I've heard good things. A couple of years ago, I spent a lot of money on TikTok because I discovered all the young lasses sharing like all the dupes, all the really good but cheaper makeup that, you know, like when I was that age, it was like that Maybelline mousse. Revolting. They have really good, cheaper, more affordable makeup, skincare, that type of thing now, which is great. And I think it's good that there's a lot of small brands, but I spent a fortune on trying loads of different things, and I found that I either hated it and have never bought it again, or I've stuck to it and still use it now to this day, since what must have been 22. So like for 3 years. I might do a video about that, about like, I don't really share this kind of stuff, but I did a Instagram story series once, and like loads of people replied and were like, oh, where did you get this? But it's not the type of thing I really share on Instagram, so I might do it here. But at the time, one of the other things that just came out was Skin by Kim. So Kim Kardashian's skincare range. And I ordered the eye cream, which was like extortionate price, but for the tiniest thing. I wouldn't order that again. It was lovely, but I think it was just way, way too overpriced. The exfoliator, which you can get refillable ones for, that is amazing, and I still use that and will pay for that again and again because that was really good. And then I went to the Newcastle United women's event. By the time this goes out, the derby match is Sunday, so it'll be today if you're viewing this on Sunday. They're playing at St James's, and I got this t-shirt, How Are the Lasses, from that event. How Are the Lasses on the back too. Cool, isn't it? I've never done that behind the scenes of St James's Park before, because like I've been going to the match for so long, so many years, since I was a kid, and I've never done it because I'm like, I was speaking to Sam, Northeast Family Fun, about this, because we were talking about how when something's your hobby, you don't always want to like work with them, because you don't want it to taint your experience like as a genuine fan. I think the women's one is a really good one. So just on that note, I've been approached to be given free tickets to the football match, to Newcastle men's, a couple of times, and I have turned down everyone. I will always be a paying customer, paying fan, have been since I was a kid, and I don't really agree with, it's not Newcastle United, it's often the sponsors, because they don't need promoting. There's 100,000 people in the ticket queue every week, and to me, some of the people that I see that get invited by sponsors don't have any interest in football. And that's not to say that audience doesn't, but it's like, I don't understand, like there's paying fans who can't get tickets. But I'm sure people could say that about me and of some of the events I go to, but I genuinely accept ones I'm interested in and won't go to anything just for the sake of being there if it's not something I'm genuinely interested in or would pay for myself. But yeah, the women's I think is a different kettle of fish, because the more amplification of women's sports, women's football, and you know, all of that stuff that comes with that, then the better really. So I'm more than happy to work with them for that, because I think it's such a good thing, and I think Amanda Staveley really set the tone in the Northeast for championing the women's team, and It's a shame she's no longer here, but I think local people, creators, fans, the more you can do, the better to push that. It's never going to be a bad thing. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Can you tell how much happy I am? I feel like I was just crap filming yesterday. It's because I had this appointment on my mind. He's snoring again now. Got my first Black Friday purchase. I don't buy loads in Black Friday sales, but I was waiting for this particular sale. Don't know. This is the LRM suede poly top handle bag in chocolate brown, and I've wanted this for a couple of months, but I love LRM bags. I have quite a few from when they were in FedEx in Newcastle. I went to the launch and honestly I use them all the time as like everyday bags, and I wanted this one in brown and it went in the sale. I knew they would, and it's got my initials monogrammed on. Can you see that? It also has a long strap. Oh, I'm so excited for this. It's so deep and has loads of space, but it's still really small. Like you could actually fit a lot in that. So let me tell you what it was. No, it's not got the price on there. I think it was down to 88 in the sale instead of 120 or something. I feel like since I've started doing these vlogs, I'm spending more and purchasing more. I'm honestly, for the most part of this year, I haven't spent much at all. I've been deliberately trying to have a low spend, low maintenance year where I don't spend unnecessary money. But this time of year, I always like to buy things. I always like to buy new makeup. I like to buy, not because the sales are on, but it's a bonus if they are. But I think it's like the autumn winter change. I like new jumpers, new makeup, because you have more plans, don't you? So I think that might be why, but absolutely thrilled with that. So I'm right, yap with Becca. Going to an Eldon Square event tonight. And she went last year and didn't really know anybody, and I'm going this year and don't know anyone but her. There's a beauty masterclass and there's some stuff around Eldon Square. Do you know what my favourite thing about Eldon Square at Christmas is the countdown above the big door. And the shops obviously, but like I just think I like the countdown. I like to see it. I've got a bit of a mixed week this week, so I was obviously pretty busy at the start of the week. Well, I was in Berwick after WTM last week. I've had a lot of sort of work to do, catch up on, but also my manager's in Orlando, so he's on a different time. He's at the office over there this week. My calls with him have been cancelled because of the different time zones and the meetings he's in over there. So I've got a few reduced call days, but then I also do have. I'm presenting tomorrow on our marketing team meeting the strategies for FY26 and the results from last year, the past year. So it's a busy time, and obviously Black Friday is coming, so that's another campaign I need to work on for some of our brands. My main sort of calendar and diary at the minute is things for me for like invites and Christmas things, which is quite nice to do at this time of year. But we've just been chatting about sort of the types of invites that we're getting and what we're saying yes to, and it's impossible to do everything. I will be out all day and every night, and I have to just choose the ones I genuinely like and would go to. And it's an Eldon Square one this evening. Next week, I've got a lot on next week actually. I'm doing something most evenings. All the festivities are starting. Currently more through Eldon Square, and I'm feeling very overdressed. How miserable and hideous it is outside. I've come for my Botox appointment. No makeup on. I've never hid that I get Botox. It's the best thing ever. I feel like I'm having such a hectic week, so I didn't really get a chance. I was rushing about yesterday. So last night I was at the Eldon Square Christmas party, and it was like a showcase of some of the brands and shops that you can go there all my favourites. There was Molten Brown. I really love their miniatures for when I travel with work. So they were there giving out some samples, and I think I've even booked in for a hand and arm massage. They were giving away gifts. I didn't know you could do that in that shop. And then also there was Sephora doing a beauty demonstration. There was some clothes. It was at the new Flight Club in Eldon Square, and I just had a really nice night with some of the other creator girlies that I know, like Becca, Laura, and Beth. So that would be, let me get this right, Rabibi, Geordie Scran and Nooks. It was a really nice night to spend with them. I was rushing about. My mum and dad had Arthur while I went there because I sometimes feel really guilty leaving him when it's dark outside. And then today I'm working, and then later tonight I'm going up the coast. I'll tell you about that later because right now my Botox is calling. Arthur I've got here in Beadnell. We're staying in Beadnell Towers in a very nice room that I haven't stayed in before, but Arthur has. He's stayed here a few times with my mum and dad when they've been looking after him and brought him up to Northumberland. It's room 5 in Beadnell Towers, and I've heard it was really nice. They've gone back and stayed multiple times, and it's lovely. Very dog friendly, very handy. It's got a door out into a private outside patio. Just checked in. I drove up after work, and Arthur is obviously having his dinner like he always does the second we get into a hotel room. Just going to finish off a little bit of work, and then we're going to go out for a walk, and then this later going to Bamburgh Castle for the Treasured Tales Christmas exhibition. So a couple of years ago, when they first did it, it was the 12 Days of Christmas, and they do it in their staterooms, like around their fireplaces and around the castle. And it was absolutely stunning, but I couldn't make the opening night, and the wife of the owner of Bamburgh Castle personally invited me to go before opening at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and it was one of the best experiences I've ever done. She basically handed me the keys and was like, go and enjoy it, and the public won't be coming in until 10 AM, so you've got the place to yourself. When I say I felt like Belle from Beauty and the Beast, it was one of the best experiences I've ever done. I was like, how often do you find yourself alone with the whole of Bamburgh Castle to yourself? I'm not having that experience tonight, but I am going to see the new Treasured Tales exhibition, and I'm really looking forward to it. But first, I will give you a room tour of our lovely dog-friendly room at Beadnell Towers. I just thought with the weather being so crap that I would pay to stay up here rather than have to drive home, and I got a really good deal on the room I booked this morning. And I think this is what I really like, especially at this time of year when the weather can be off and when you've got so many plans. I don't like leaving Arthur. I didn't really want to drive an hour and more up to Bamburgh tonight and then back in the dark with the bad weather. So I was like, do you know what? I'm going to make a thing of it. I'm going to stay. And this is the best thing about being able to work from anywhere, work from home, because it affords me that luxury. So yeah. Had a bit of a day, had my Botox, got home, finished work, still got a bit to do. But yeah, I'm really pleased we did this and that I've come up here. It is gorgeous. Let me show you the room. He knew where it was. When we walked in, he started to walk down the corridor. I was like, we haven't checked in yet. And the woman was like, oh, I think he knows where he's going. I was like, he will, because he'll remember it from being here for mum and dad. And he did. He ran straight down the corridor here to be let in. Right, let me show you it. So you walk in the room, and this is the entrance. The bathroom is straight away to your left. I love these old-fashioned towel rails. Noble Isle toiletries, and a standing sink and some more toiletries. Look at Arthur, I can't decide what he wants. You'll know what we're near the beach. Did you hear that? Anyway, great dog-friendly room. Wardrobe with hairdryer, coffee making, robes, slippers. I've got my coat hanging up, but there's loads of space. The only thing I would say it doesn't have is a fridge, but I only noticed that because I'm on a bed and breakfast rate, but I only noticed there's no fridge because I put Arthur's like fresh chicken in it. Anyway, you can tell it's the seaside theme. Look at those. Lots of mirrors. Always appreciate that. And it backs onto the car park too, and it has a gate, which is great because then I can go and get the rest of the bags without disturbing the whole hotel or worrying about him in here. Thank you. Thanks, Arthur. sure how I've managed it, but I've somehow Bamburgh Castle to myself again at night in the dark. I find this magical, honestly. Night that they're doing late night on a Thursday, every Thursday on Christmas, and I think everyone's been put off by the weather because I've got it to myself again. Oh my god, I've never been in here, this is terrifying. That's absolutely wild. Back from Bamburgh Castle, it was incredible. If you can go to see that, the Bamburgh Castle Christmas display this year, 100% do it. And if you can do it on one of the Thursday late night openings in the dark, do that even more, because it was mesmerising. Yeah, it was really, really good. So me and Arthur are going to go to the pub for tea. I am tucked up in this fabulous huge big bed and it is blowing a hoolie outside. Walking up to Bamburgh Castle it really made me think I was back in medieval times and just how bad it would have been and how cold and up on that cliff top, honestly. And you know when you're lying in bed and you're just so grateful that isn't you, like out on a cliff top tonight in the horrible wind and rain. In medieval times, that's what's going through my head right now. And as a result of that, I'm about to what? It makes me feel really cozy when you're inside, especially somewhere fairly remote. With it absolutely pissing down in the wind and that's what's going on outside. And it made me think of our friend Cecilia from Svalbard, the island close to the North Pole. So I'm watching her YouTube of Polar Night and thanking God that I don't live in those conditions, but I love to watch her videos about it. So that's what I'm doing now.
I think it was the same last year. It might be both.
Morning. I had a really nice night's sleep in this hotel. I would definitely stay here again with Arthur. I'm going to go for breakfast soon, but I've been working since early because our Black Friday campaign's launched. I've also been going through my photos from Bamburgh last night. It was incredible in the dark. I'm really glad I went at night rather than through the day this year. I mean, it is fab both ways, but daytime and evening, but I think it's really unique to be in the castle at night. And all the staff were saying that as well. They were like, we don't usually see Bamburgh Castle like this at night, so very unique. I'm really glad I did it. Just checked out. I had kippers for breakfast, crusted kippers. They were lush. I've never had them before. And thankfully the weather has calmed down a lot today, but it is still pretty blowy. So I'm just out for a walk with Arthur before I will be driving home. If you ever stay here, you need to come to this pub as well, Craster Arms. Really good, like proper pub inside, good beer garden in the summer and very cosy in winter. So you could come, stay at the Beadnell Towers, have dinner there one night. It is quite expensive, I think. And then, or this is a more affordable proper pub option, just 2 minutes down the road. I mean, it's a bit cold, like. That gorgeous little corner is where we've just stayed, and there's a dog washing station here, which is really good after being on the beach. And this little outside terrace was our room. I decided to stop off at Seahouses for a bit of a wander around while we were on the beach. It was too windy. Absolutely no surprise that the Farn Island boats aren't out today in this wind. Yeah, look, all the huts are closed. I would not want to be out there today. Let's go look at it. Friday night and me and Arthur are going to the pub. Our usual, platform 2 in Tynemouth for a Friday night beverage. I just got back from the Christmas market, the Newcastle Christmas market, which opened this morning. There was the band and choir, which were really kind of, especially considering how horrendous the weather is. Then I had a bit of a walk around all the different stores. I'm just watching Northhouse dinner. I have mixed thoughts about it. So I feel like, and I don't know if this is just because, since sometimes on Facebook it attracts the worst of people who are looking to complain of anything and everything, and they don't look at anything in a positive light, but they also are people that don't do anything about the things that they complain about. They're just there to have a moan. Every Christmas, whether it's the market or something to do with Christmas in Newcastle, Phoenix Window's another one, there's always people who complain. And I remember one year I was sharing different Christmas markets, and this woman called Trisha, she complained on every single post I did about the Christmas markets. But she wasn't being like horrible. She was just being like, well, she was, but it wasn't like offensive to me. But it was like she was happy because she was complaining. And in the end, I replied to her and said to her, you don't like the smell, the teepees, the fire pits, the tat, the crowds. Like, I just don't think Christmas markets are for you, which is fine. So then just don't go. If you don't like something, don't go. If you don't want to buy something, don't buy it. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just, to me, really ridiculous the way certain people go on social media. But anyway, I do feel like I have some mixed comments about the Christmas market this year. Number one, I do like it in general. It's very festive. I like Moose and Wort, the teepee and having a drink, and the hot chocolates. There are a lot of mulled wine, hot chocolate, Baileys, festive drink stands, which I always really like. Especially me and my mum and dad often went before the match last year, so hopefully we'll do that again this year. The crumble pots are there, brilliant. The Yorkshire pudding wraps are there, and then there are some local stalls which I see at a lot of markets and I really like them. Kanatsu Jewellery, these earrings, I've got a few things from them. They have a store which is really nice to see. Definitely go there, their jewellery's lovely. Big River t-shirts, they are there. Brownie Company, Geordie Bangers, the Baltic have a shop, have a stall. I can't remember the name of them, but they do the like Geordie cards. They're there. So there is a lot of local small businesses, and I think when people are like, oh, the Christmas market's rubbish, it's all just tat, I don't think that's fair to say, because I think they really have tried to get some more local makers and sellers in the last few years, and I think it's not fair to call those stores, which you see at other markets and are really nice and really good, and our other local small businesses tat. There is Christmas tat. Like there is. Some of the stores are Christmas tat. But also, I think some people really like that. Like they like the Christmas tat. They like the names on the baubles. They like the tat Christmas, which is fine. So you don't need to be that negative, I think, if you don't like something, especially when it comes to those things. You know, what's tat to you might be someone's favourite tradition every Christmas, is the bottom line. There is the Christmas village, which is definitely geared up more for the kids. The carousel, I like a carousel. The big wheel is there this year. There is a marshmallow land, which is basically just toasted marshmallow stations. And then, but actually quite a few of the stalls are still closed, so I think they must open a bit later on, maybe for the evenings, and a few other food stalls. I don't like what's on, it's not Granger Street, what is it called? Is it Nelson Place? The little one off. And I think a lot of people will have seen the complaint Priory Press put up about the stalls plonked right outside their door. And I thought, I'm gonna go and have a look and see how bad it is. It is bad. They've literally blocked their doorway. You can't walk past. The other markets, I think, what are you after? There's not many stalls in that street, and I just don't think they need to be there. It's not a good street. There's not for the Christmas market. You can't walk up and down, but still also access the businesses on either side. It's too small. There's about 4 stalls, loads of skips and bins and rubbish carts. It's all just a little bit unnecessary. I just don't think it needs to be there, and it definitely doesn't need a block. Priory Press. I can see why they're mad, to be honest. One of the organisers did tell me it wasn't because a chain complained, which is fair enough. But I do see, regardless of that, why Priory Press have such a problem. It does block the front of their shop. You can't see it. So I can see why businesses have a bit of an issue. You know, that pay rent and trade there all year, just to be blocked entirely at the busiest time of the year with the most footfall. It's frustrating. But I think it's just, I certainly try to share as many of my favourite businesses and promote as many of my local ones and the ones that I like, particularly the small ones, within Newcastle, the coast, the Granger Market, and anywhere I go really, because if you shop there and they are your favourites, support them at the time of year when they need it. Don't forget about them just because the Christmas market's there. I think it's great to see some of my favourite ones in as part of the market. The jewellery one's brilliant, perfect example of that. But you can't keep everybody happy. I do like the Christmas market. I do think it's very festive, but I do think those particular stalls shouldn't have been put there, and there is no need for them in that street. That's my summarised version.